Hey everybody, Tony and Chris back for another TigerSox review for the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet. And once again, as it's par for the course, it was brought to us by our beer Santa in Indiana, Mr. Gone V6. Thank you, Chris. We love you.
Thank you, Chris.
And as I said last week, there is a box coming your way. I promise. I promise. I promise. I promise. Tony has actually given me beers to put in said box, and it's going to be a good one. This is not just going to be, oh, let's grab some beers, throw it in there so Leland's got a box. This is going to be a good one, I promise. So, going to be some nice beers.
We haven't forgotten about you.
We have not forgotten, and
but it's time to get that thing in the mail.
However, and in all fairness, this last batch of beers that Chris sent me, he sent because he had too many beers. So it's kind of ironic to send something to somebody who sent you beers because he has too many beers and say, here's some beers. Yeah. But we'll work on that later.
And we're separated by 10 states.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. But today's selection is actually an import, an 11.2 ounce bottle, which I'm guessing has something to do with the metric system. This country, and I think it's like Bhutan, or there's some strange Southeast Asian nation. We're the only two that are still using the Old English system. Everybody else is converted to metric. And so a lot of foreign beers, particularly those from Asia, are 11.2 ounces. This is no exception. It is from the Philippines. It came from San Miguel Brewing, and it is known as Red Horse beer.
Red Horse beer.
Now, I'm going to be reading these as, okay, it has 8% ABV, which is on the bottle.
Yes, it is.
According to Untappd, it has 9 IBU, which is that on the bottle too, or is it just
no,
the
IBUs
ABV?
is not on here.
Okay. All right. Little shocking scores on this. I told Tony I was going to tell him what it was, and then I decided to wait until the actual review to read this to everybody.
Shocking score.
Here we go.
Prepare to be shocked.
9 of my friends on Untappd have given this a cumulative score of 2.86.
Not good.
13,000 of us have given it a cumulative score of 3.01. Rate beer, 1.91. Oh. And this was first.
Okay, I'm leaving.
This was first reviewed on the 25th of May in 2005 on Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate has only 124 ratings. Its score 2.58, which on their ranking is poor.
Oh God!
So
what have you done?
Chris said,
you could have just poured. You could have drank this at home and not brought it over for this purpose of this video.
Chris said that his brother hooked him up with this, and but
okay.
You know, the thing is, rarely
we review all beer.
Exactly, and you know, while I do take this into consideration,
that should be amazing.
Exactly, that's just it. You know, more than once, and I think I haven't looked to see what Chris actually gave this beer. I'm assuming, you know, I think he gave it like maybe a 3. Well, I shouldn't even say because I don't know what he did. I think I saw
maybe
his ranking.
Comment below and tell us what he did. So go ahead, Chris Leland, if you see this video, and comment below what your score on Untappd is.
Exactly.
Or we can look it up ourselves.
But anyway, so
if we're lazy, we're not lazy.
It does not say anywhere on the bottle what the variety is. Untappd referred to it as a lager/Euro strong. So I'm not exactly sure.
That's an unusual combination.
Yeah, exactly. Lager and strong ale are not the same. But
I don't know how many times I've come across that in a store of any kind. So.
You know, I don't know the first thing about Southeast Asian brewing. You know, so maybe
we're in for some,
maybe you got to do a combination of the two or something.
We're in for a learning lesson, I guess. What can you say? I mean, we haven't had the beer. The scores are not very promising, so we're just, we'll just dive in and
exactly. We'll see how it goes.
If we like it, cool. If not, won't be the first time. So anyway,
Creek Geeks, giving a shout out to the Creek.
Today, Creek Glass, of course. We try to feature the Creek in our videos regularly.
Now, not this specific glass, but just to give you, because I love to tell everybody, go to Tenaya Creek on a Tuesday, slap down $6 on the bar. You're going to get a Tenaya Creek glass filled with Tenaya Creek beer. Come back and put down, what is it, $4 for refills or $5? $4 for refills. Yeah. You're going to get $4 refills. Take that glass home with you. Bring it back next Tuesday. More $4 refills. So.
Yep. And this is, good sized glass, and it's quality beer, and they call it pint night.
Yeah.
And I think the glass they use for that
is a little smaller than that. It's not a. I don't think they use a full size pint, do they? Because I think the IPA glass that I have is on a full 12 ounces.
I think it's the size.
Is it a full? Okay.
I think so. And it's green. The logo is green. This one's blue. It's just
their standard pint glass.
Yeah. Standard pint.
Yeah.
So here we go. Pour. Lots of
It's
carbonation
bearing
going
a
on.
very, very light color.
Very light.
Very light. The lager color, actually.
Very bubbly.
Very bubbly. Lots
Has
of carbonation going on.
Has a champagne look to it almost.
The head is not very resilient, quite honestly, but it's also, well, it is and it isn't. It's not overly foamy,
It's
but
forming pretty quick. Yeah.
and I see the dissipation bubbles coming. Bring this up to the nose.
Yeah, there's lots of bubbles going on here. This is a very
Oh, it sure smells like a lager.
bubbly beer.
That's for sure.
I'm drinking out of a lumberyard glass from Flagstaff, Arizona.
Desert Brewers.
Another cool place. Very, very worth visiting.
Arizona's got some great breweries, actually.
They do.
And,
And Flagstaff's a really cool beer city. It's a mountain town, and it's just got a real small charm to it. You know, like it hasn't got touched by the big city feel, and it's just really, really cool. And it's a college town, but it also has like 6 breweries, and 5 of them are like walking to. You could like
and that's the beauty
cover
of
4 of them in a
Arizona,
very
is
short walk.
You could do a week in each city. Like you could pull into Flagstaff and do a week there. You could pull into Lake Havasu.
Lake
and do a
Havasu
week
is another
there.
one. Yeah,
You know, you
exactly.
could pull into
You could enjoy the lake and
pull
enjoy
into,
breweries.
the greater Phoenix area, and there's plenty of those around there.
Countless
So,
ones down
yeah.
there. Yeah, Arizona's good. It's very well represented.
I smell lager. I smell lager yeast. I smell lager
It's the
beer.
yeast, yeah. It's for sure the yeast.
I am actually smelling a little bit of alcohol on this one. With an 8% ABV, that's not that big a surprise, quite honestly.
I'm almost getting a saison smell to it. A little bit.
A little bit.
Faintly.
I'm getting. Are you getting any sort of bread, like sort of doughy?
Yeah.
Not just the yeast naturally, which makes it
kind of
smell,
biscuity
but,
in a way.
yeah, precisely biscuity.
But yeah, it's the yeast it's the yeast that's really jumping, really popping out of that.
Shall we?
Let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Red Horse beer. This tastes a little too corporate for me.
Yeah.
That in itself should probably be an eye opener for whoever's watching. It seems like a very, very mass-produced corporate beer. Kind of watery, kind of thin, kind of just veiled with flavor.
There's still that alcohol burn. Like I'm getting in my up on my upper palate, a slight alcohol burn.
This kind of reminds me of Stella Artois. I don't know. Am I losing my mind? I mean,
maybe the thing. I'm noticing that there's a common thread through Asian beers that I've experienced, and I've had a very, very limited experience with Asian beers. So please don't take this to heart or think that I'm saying this is true of all. My personal experience, the 3 that I can bring to mind are. I think it's called Leo. It's a Khmer beer, has elephants on it. I had it in a Cambodian restaurant in Oakland. And then I've had Sapporo and a couple of other Japanese beers. High carbonation seems to be a very common theme in Asian beers. I've not had any other Filipino beers, but I'm sort of lumping it in with other Asian beers.
Initially, when you take a sip, you are getting a very good amount of carbonation. It hits you hard. Like,
it's kind of spiky.
It's almost like that first sip of a Sprite or a 7-Up, where you get the bubbles really, really hit you immediately, and then the flavor, if there is flavor, comes along right after it.
I'm not hating this.
I don't hate
it. Great.
I don't hate it.
I'll put it to you this way:
I'm not fond of it.
I've never been to the Orient. If I went to Manila and my 2 options were Red Horse or Bud Light, I'd be drinking Red Horse the whole time I was in Manila.
Absolutely.
Yes. I think y'all were a little hard on this beer, quite honestly.
I'm not going to score it much higher, but overall the scores do seem a touch
I think
low.
1.98 is kind of unfair for
little
this
brutal.
beer. I mean, really.
I might tack on a 0.5 to it, maybe go mid 2s. For my personal Untapped, I'm thinking probably 2.75.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
We're doing that more and more, actually, where
indeed.
our scores are almost the same. At least they put the ABV on their bottles, so that's
they didn't the
a
past
nice
2
thing.
weeks,
The last
New
2,
Glarus did not. But,
exactly. I mean, if I had a blindfold on and didn't know what someone was serving me, I would immediately just say corporate beer. It's very run-of-the-mill, almost like a predictable recipe. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really give it much else to tack onto this. It's not bland, but it's also just not really packing a lot of flavor. And it just reminds me of a corporate beer where you just drink it to get drunk and you're not really
Precisely.
enjoying the beer
Yeah,
for the
it's
sake of
hot,
enjoying the beer.
and you want a beer, and you
Excuse
drink
me.
beer, and there you go. Yep.
I don't know. It really reminds me of Stella Artois or maybe
Yeah, I
Dos
get that Stella
Equis,
sort of
maybe.
thing, yeah. I would actually say, but between those two, I would say this leans a little more towards Stella than Dos Equis, but
Yeah, and I don't like Stella. I just
no, I
absolutely
don't
don't
either,
like
really.
Stella. So yeah, I don't really have much else to. I can't really compliment it anymore. I mean,
Another thing I've noticed about
it's a
Asian,
small pour. I can
once
finish
again,
it. Goes
the
flat quick.
carbonation, it does.
Look
And
at
that's
that! Wow.
my experience with Asian beers. That has been the case.
And I just poured this about 6 minutes ago, and that carbonation's gone.
It's gone. It's gone.
But it
And
was.
that has been my experience with Asian beers.
But when we
Now,
first poured it, it was definitely active.
once again, if you are an aficionado of Asian beers, you want to write me and tell me how wrong I am, and that
Well, flat is flat. I mean, we can see in the video.
well, there's that. But if you want to tell me that this is not typical of Asian beer,
Okay.
which may be the case, I'm just saying it's been typical of my experience with Asian beer,
We
which
only
has
get
been
so
very
many here in
limited.
Las Vegas.
It's
so,
true, and it can only have one in Sapporo. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's fine if you go to PF Chang's and you get one there, but
Yeah.
I'm not spending my money at the bottle shop on Sapporo.
We have some sushi restaurants in Vegas that sell Sapporo as well, and because it's one of the only options of beer other than the main U.S. corporate beer, I will order it.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily enjoy it, but I find that it goes well with certain kinds of sushi.
Exactly.
Um,
And,
but
and if you're going to stay authentic,
usually I order
like
iced tea when I go have sushi.
Yeah.
Actually. So anyway, what are you gonna do? Don't hate it, but I'm not real crazy about it.
275.
In
I
fact,
think it's fair.
I think it's time for me to resign from the Blue Collar Beer Gourmet TigerSox series. It's been great, everybody.
We love having you. And
Just kidding. I'll stay. I'll write it out. But damn it, bring me some good ones next time.
yeah, next time,
Chris, we don't fault you.
No,
This
no,
is
not at
from the
all. And we
Philippines.
appreciate you sending it.
It's
The
something we got to
opportunity
try.
try
you know?
something new from
Totally.
another country.
I love doing that.
Imports don't make it here that often, and when they do, they're very corporate stuff. So.
Very much so. But I enjoy the thrill of opening a beer I've never had before.
Exactly.
Even if it's a style I don't like, I'm having a beer that unless I get in my car or on a plane, I'm not going to get to try. It's just that simple. So, yeah. So thank you, Chris, very much.
Alrighty.
And with that, happy 4th of July. Well, this is going to air on, let's see, it's 24. This will be after the 4th of July.
Yeah, this will be on the
Okay. Hope you all had a nice 4th of July. Hope there's still a country by that point.
Hope you didn't blow your hand off with fireworks.
Yeah, don't blow your hand off. Don't stick anything up your rectum.
And do not shoot your bottle rockets at people's roofs, for crying out loud.
Yeah, don't whiz on the electric fence.
These are things you shouldn't have to tell people. I was a stupid kid myself once, but don't make a deliberate effort to pull an arson. All right, come on, guys, seriously. But I guess since this is airing afterwards, this is all for now.
Hopefully,
So,
you have all 10 of your digits on your hands still.
Indeed.
So if not, leave a comment.
Thanks again, Chris. We do appreciate it. Chance to try Filipino beer, thing I never had before.
Absolutely.
And until next time, gang, drink good beer. Don't break the bank doing it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Later, everybody.
Cheers.